Hiya there, beauties, and welcome to this guided meditation journey where we are going to explore feeling. If you're in some kind of emotional upset, or if you just want to kind of tap into your daily weather, your daily emotional weather, or if there's something deep going on, or if you simply want to kind of acquaint yourself a little more with the process of feeling, this journey will assist you and perhaps give you some tools that can also make the process a little softer and a little smoother. So, feeling is this beautiful process, but also sometimes maybe the most difficult process in some settings, very related to being in the now. If there is something that is quite difficult to feel, it also means that it's quite difficult to be present with it in the now. This often becomes our routes for escapism, trying to kind of deflect our focus in other directions so that we don't have to feel what is there with us. But feeling is this natural process of being human. In one way, your whole kind of point in being here on planet Earth at this moment in time is because your soul is here on a journey of expansion. And your journey of expansion, your consciousness expanding more and more into who and what you truly are, will always entail life gifting you with all these different opportunities to feel and move things through you, to open and expand even more into more of what you are. It's kind of like you are one piece of source or one piece of consciousness traveling through space. And these little gifts that are inviting us deeper into our own expansion and our own expansion into our soul journey throughout lifetimes is everything that you meet on your way as you travel through space. So everything that you are presented with, everything that you meet in life, everything that brings things up, every event, every person, every trigger, everything is there to call you home. And feeling also keeps within it this magical, most fundamental key to your own self-realization. Because feeling will reveal to you your true nature. And your true nature is that of something forever empowered. Your true nature and your consciousness is something that is always of power. There is nothing that is of greater power than your true nature. So that is your kind of empowered true self. But then we have all these different emotional experiences that kind of give us, at least momentarily, the experience of being disempowered, of being smaller than some kind of experience, some kind of emotion, some kind of energy. So they seem too big for us to handle. They are in one way bigger than us. But of course this is a lie. This is not true. There is no thing that is bigger than you. There's no emotion that is stronger than you. But of course we are living in different parts of our kind of what could we call that, like something that is layered on top of our consciousness, this veil that is kind of in between us and our full truth. So sometimes we are experiencing this feeling of being less than, smaller than, being a victim to, or being of a lesser power. And through these experiences, they're always an invitation to teaching you, through feeling, that there is nothing that is bigger, of more power than you. So that's not to say violent people does not exist, or that are stronger than you, or that you cannot experience all these different things out there. But it is to say that everything that goes on inside you, your internal experience, is always, in a way, with the potential for you to feel it all. No matter what type of emotion, no matter what type of emotions arising from something you experienced, some event or something that is happening, or the emotions, it's kind of like an energy moving through your body. And why, think about it, why can you not feel something? Why can you not feel all things? What is the difference of feeling intense happiness and to feel intense sadness? Why can we not feel immense rage, but we can feel intense joy? Like, what is the difference? See if you can answer that for yourself. In reality, there really is no difference. It's just a frequency. It's just a vibration of different tones. But we have set frames that tells us that this experience, this emotion, is not okay, and this is. And oftentimes our emotional range is very limited, both in the positive extremes and in the negative extremes. So we kind of have this mid-range of accepted feelings of what we kind of have the capacity to feel. But if you imagine like the whole range of vibrations and frequencies of everything that exists, in the world, being a mirror to everything that is in this creational universe, then that range, that scale of emotions is kind of just, it's a scale of all frequencies, all energies within this universe. And when our range is kind of like, I can feel the mid-range of vibrations and frequencies, that is also how much you have embodied of the whole. And you being on this kind of self-realizing journey of embodying and remember your true nature, that of total empowerment, your true nature, that of being a piece of source. You are everything. So to kind of embody more and more of who you are, what you are, you feel. You take ownership back. You take power back, realizing you can increase that range on your scale. You can feel all the things. Of course, they don't need to happen all at once. You are very much allowed to train the range, to train the capacity bit by bit, with a lot of compassion and love, to open the aperture of what you can feel. And as you allow this capacity to grow, as you allow your range to expand, you're stretching yourself out, and you're embodying more and more of totality. You're embodying the energy of extreme rage. You're embodying the energy of extreme bliss. You're embodying the energy of intense, orgasmic, high-level states. You're embodying the energy of deep, powerful, expressive states. And all of this is giving you your wholeness back. Through embodying that rage, you're embodying more, so much more of your power. Through embodying and stretching your capacity to feel ecstasy, you're embodying so much more of who you are, and so on. So all emotions is an invitation to embody more of who you are, to embody your power through your wholeness. Let's take a breath with that. Let's take another beautiful breath with that, allowing it to sink in. Then there are also one thing that makes feeling a little easier, a little bit more supported, and that is having some kind of resourced support, some kind of access or felt sense of something within you that feels not just taken by the emotion, but more in connection with your true nature, more in connection with your endless loving presence, this part of your being that's behind everything, that's behind your now time in this moment, emotional weather, and so on. So, because of course when we're just feeling, when we're simply kind of losing ourselves fully to feeling, it can be quite overwhelming. And we need some kind of center, some kind of connectedness to also this other unmoved part of us. To put it very simply, it's like you have this one aspect of your being that's always okay. That's always okay, eternally okay. That's always connected with the grand tapestry of love throughout this universe. That can feel all the support, all the love, which is also the core tone of the being itself, of your being itself. So of course there is a little ease to emotional upset when you have some kind of connectedness to that part of you. It's a little easier to feel empowered in feeling. But of course sometimes that part needs to be cultivated, and just learning to feel in itself can also be very empowering when you remember to stay connected with your power. Like, I am feeling because I am empowered. I can feel. There's nothing I cannot feel. I can feel. When you're meeting this emotion from that place, it really kind of continues to invite you into this empowered state while feeling. So that was a little bit of talk from me, and now we're going to get into it. So you can choose to lie or to sit when doing this journey. I will recommend both. Lying is inviting you to get into a little bit more like surrendered state, which is a very good place often to start when you are starting to get into your feelings. It's kind of like you're lying down and just like, okay, I surrender. Give it to me. Let me feel it. Let it move through me. But then sitting also invites you to kind of feel a little bit more of your center, a little bit more of your spine, a little bit more of your power. So I suggest you follow what feels most natural to you right now and what you feel called to. That will always be your true guidance, no matter what I'm saying. And then get comfortable. So if you're lying, use cushions under knees if you need that. Maybe some elevation under head, adjusting your legs and arms, wiggling until you find your alignment. And the same goes for your seated position, adjusting your hips. Really recommend elevating your pelvis with some kind of meditation cushion or folding some blankets or something that helps you tilt your pelvis slightly forward. If you need some kind of further instructions on this, go YouTube it on how to find your alignment in meditation pose. It really helps both the energetic opening of your spine, which again opens up your consciousness, liberates it a little more, makes meditation easier. So coming into your preferred pose, And just taking a moment, slowly inhaling and exhaling through your mouth. Let's do 2 more of those. And exhale it all out. Maybe there's sound, sigh. And then I'm going to invite you to put your awareness into your body. So beginning in your feet, simply place your awareness inside your feet. Fill the feet up, opening your awareness to the sensation, the felt sense of your feet, the ankles, the legs, the knees. You can use your breath to kind of continue to soften into the experience of the legs, the lower legs. So softening is one ginormous tool we take with us into feeling. Maybe you can notice when you start to soften your awareness into your lower legs, it's easier to start to become sensitive, sensing. And there is, of course, the more subtle world of our inner body and being. So the more you soften to your lower legs, you can become more sensing. You can sense the inner subtle world of your energy, of your life force, of your beingness, of your aliveness. So there will be some kind of tingling in your feet, legs. There will be some kind of pulsation, the deeper waves of life force, of your aliveness in body, basically of your beingness in body. So just softening until you become aware where you have some kind of tingling in the feet, legs, and allowing it to build. So using the breath, continuing to both increase the sensation, heighten it, and soften to it. Looking for the deeper wave of energy through the pulse. There's a pulse also in the feet. If you really put your awareness right there in the center, in the mid depths of your feet, listening for some kind of pulse in the tissues. Up into the ankle joints, into the lower legs. So now you're starting to open your energy body, which is the first opening of layers when we're opening into the emotional body. You can journey up into the knees, and following now the pulse, it will gradually start to come up into the thighs, just looking for it, softening to it, becoming so available to it. Breathing, using your breath to both heighten the energy with the inhale and softening, allowing it even more with the exhale. Fully opening to it. So noticing where you have the tingling sensation up along the depths of your thighs, along the thigh bone. Noticing where you have the tingling in all parts of the thighs. The deep energetic flow will will be along the thigh bone, but also in different energy channels. So looking for the pulse as well, the deeper wave along the thigh bones from the knee joint. Using the breath to kind of allow it, breathe it, soften to it, and allow that pulse to come all the way up into your hip joints. Using your breath, begin to breathe with that pulse, that energy into the socket of your hips. So the inhale is kind of like you're opening up each socket, and the exhale is like you're softening to it. Imagine where the thigh bones come up into the socket of the hip, so right in the center of the hip. You have like the end knuckle of the big, thick thigh bone attaching into the socket. Using your breath to continue to soften around this knuckle. Soften. And allowing that softening to spread into the pelvic bowl, pelvic floor, and the tailbone. So maybe you're not fully sensitized to these different regions of your hips, but all you need to do now is follow the sensations within the hips, where you sense some kind of definition, some pressure, some pulse, some tingling. There will be different parts of your whole hip region that now is turning more on. There will be some areas that has more pressure, less pressure, pulsating more, less. And wherever you sense the pressure, that's where you breathe and soften. Eventually the energy very naturally starts to find its way towards the root and the tailbone. So the root is the perineum tissue. It has this energetic pulse of life force coming up your central energy channel. And the kind of physical manifestation of that is the spine. So there's some electricity and pressure also in the tip of your tailbone. So looking for the tingling around your tail, softening and sinking. Looking for the pulse, the pressure in your perineum tissue. Breathing, opening to it. And then begin to allow for this energy now to move upwards into the core of your body. So along the spine and in the spine and around the spine. Opening up your lower abdomen, softening. At the same time, it's kind of like you now begin to fill. You started filling your legs with awareness up into the hips, and then you start to fill from the hips, the upper body, with your awareness, filling it from within, filling yourself out, softening to the energy. If you're very sensitive now to the energy awakening, you will sense pressure somewhere along the spine. Maybe in the lower belly, maybe in the upper, maybe up more towards the heart. It's just increased pressure because there is life force, more life force moving up along the spine. And wherever you feel pressure, you can really begin to soften and breathe. moving the energy further up, allowing it to fully open and blossom along the spine, out to the rest of your body. So we're gently flowing up into the upper abdomen, filling this body part with your presence. It's kind of like it's an empty space you're filling completely with awareness. The same goes for the chest. Softening, continue to soften along the spine, becoming so available to what is here. Coming up into the upper chest, filling this space, filling it completely with your awareness. Out into the shoulders, arms, elbows, lower hands, wrists and hands, fingertips. So hands are quite sensitive, so usually when you start to open your energy body here, when you start to open to the hands, you will sense tingling, a lot of tingling in the hands. So many energy channels, so much nerve conditioning here. And then if you feel some kind of tingling, begin to soften to it. Allow it to move off the wrist, lower arms, elbows, up along the upper arms, maybe along the actual bones, deeper within the arm, up into the shoulders, into the chest again. Continuously using your breath, organically, naturally, intuitively, to be with the flow of energy, to be with the opening. Following the breath up into the upper part of your chest, filling the upper part of your chest, filling the space that is your neck with your awareness, filling the head, the whole skull with your awareness, softening the muscles of your face, softening in the center of your head, all the way to the crown. So now that you filled this empty, it's not empty, but you filled this container, that's your body, with your presence. From the inside out, you're there inside it. To go deeper into the emotional body, you start looking for, since emotions is vibrations, waves, frequency, you start listening to the vibe, the vibes. It's kind of like your day-to-day state will be like a rhythm, a song. It's kind of like you know, when you walk into a room and you instantly pick up on the vibe in that room. If somebody's having like a very intense conversation, or there's an argument, or somebody's really down or elevated, or you instantly feel vibes inside rooms or in spaces, areas. So you have this superpower. You don't need to be a psychic intuitive to be able to read energy. We all have this power. And so inside now, let's imagine your whole body is a room that you're walking into. And you start feeling the vibe of this room. Maybe there's some body parts that you feel there is a louder tone, a louder song. Maybe you feel the body more in its totality, like the melody of today, of this moment. Maybe this melody carries all the things that happened throughout your day, or yesterday, or is going to happen. This melody, in its big way, is your life lately. It's everything that's going on. It's everything your consciousness is slowly digesting, where you are being invited to flower into more of yourself, more expansion, more connection. So let's see if you're maybe pulled to an area, or maybe there is something you are aware of already, like some emotional upset or something that has moved you deeply, or maybe you just sense that there's more pressure inside my chest, or there's some kind of contraction in my belly, or there's some butterflies in my upper abdomen, or there's some sadness behind my eyes, or this feeling state is very right brain, is very abstract. You need to kind of, logic can totally be our best friend in this process, but you need to allow for your abstract self, the one that can feel into it, tune into, just like when you walk into a room and sense the vibe. So let's choose one area of your body where you kind of feel that there is some emotions. For some of you, you will have a very strong sense of like, yeah, I feel a lot of sadness in my chest, or love in my heart, and some will be very like, I don't know, I don't feel so much, it's very vague, but I kind of feel like it's like something in my stomach, or just in the process of this abstract right brain coming into our emotional body. You have to trust the most vague sense that your logic mind is very unsure of, and you have to go with it. You have to follow the subtle world. You have to trust whatever comes up, whatever you sense into. And maybe for some of you, you will have like, you already came into this meditation with like some very activated emotions in your body, and then go there. Bring up the situation or whatever you are currently in, and notice where your body starts activating, where there will be some contraction or some pulsation or some energy activating in some way. So wherever area you're coming to, put one hand there, like just presencing it, witnessing it, the hand holding this frequency of your loving self that's just there with it. I'm here. I got you. Begin to breathe softly, soothingly, lovingly with this body part. Breathe in whatever way your body naturally now wants to breathe. Sometimes you find the breath is moving and is moving with the energy. So maybe it changes rhythm, maybe you suddenly want to go increase its pace, depth, shallowness. It's all about kind of mimicking the expression of the energy and the emotion. So you begin to breathe the emotion. Breathe with the emotional tone, like the breath is the emotional tone, fully allowing it. Another big key for allowing ourselves to feel is acceptance. Kind of like asking yourself in this experience, like, is it okay that this sensation is here now? Is it okay that this experience, this feeling is here now? Opening yourself up to all vibrations being part of the same whole. No right or wrong frequencies, vibrations in this universe. It's all a part of the whole. Also knowing that feeling this, allowing this, is bringing more of you back to you. You embodying one more piece of yourself. So then suddenly feeling also has a little bit of a positive carrot in a way to it. Continue to breathe. And then see if you can invite in your loving presence. So for some it's very available, just like clicking into it. Some have it so available, this loving self, that is just there with you now. This part of you that is forever unchangeable and just okay, tapped in to this whole loving universe. And then for others, it's hard to find. Maybe we closed ourselves a little bit, hardened in our current now. And either way, let's call forth this loving presence. If you need a little awakening, you can think about someone you love. Maybe there's a child or a pet in your life that really brings this forth. Maybe there's your closest one. Just notice the kind of the softening, the empathic softening in your heart. Imagine you walked into a room and there's this child crying that hurt itself, and that kind of energy that naturally flows through you when it's needed. And just allow yourself to breathe into for a moment that sensation in your body. It's most likely emanating from your heart, but can be throughout your body. This loving part of you, using your breath to soften more and more to this part of you, allowing it. If there ever is some movement or the body needs to kind of move as it's opening or moving energy, you allow it. It's just a part of the process. Allowing your loving self to be felt. So now as we have a little bit of that tone, and don't worry if it's not coming, then just focusing on your heart, focusing on your heart or something that feels good to you, something else in your body that right now feels good or supported or giving you some kind of peace or relief or sense of goodness. Maybe it can be the environment or just the fact that you have support under your seat or your spine. There is some kind of support for you here. And then having that tone with us, this presence, this is this is your presence, this loving presence of support. It's kind of like this presence has this tone of, I got you, I'm here with you. With this tone, continue to be with whatever emotional experience you're having in your body right now. The place you placed your hand, and just be there with this loving presence, just whispering through your breath to this part. I'm here, I'm here. I'm here with you. It's okay. I got you. I'm here with you. You're not alone. So this presence is just there with the emotion, giving it all the support to be here, to be felt, to be held. So it's not trying to change it or move it or force it along. It's just here with so much compassion, so much love, so much understanding for this part of you. Maybe the emotional part of you has a voice. Maybe it wants to say something, express something through its own voice. Maybe you want to express it out through actual words or just internally. Or just continue to feeling into it. Maybe it's a little voice that says that it's scared, it's not loved, or needs this or that, or whatever it wants to express. Now, allow it. And as this emotion was expressing itself while you were breathing along there with it, the loving presence was also so there, receiving and listening to it, fully listening. Maybe this loving self also wants to speak or say something or just emanate something, like you're holding this child or this emotion or this natural response of love. That's okay. I totally understand that. Yeah, I get that. Thank you so much for sharing your voice with me. I'm here. I will always be here with you. Maybe there's something that was revealed that this part needs. Or maybe it wants to express itself more. What does it need? And when you gently reveal its need, notice how your loving self can so intuitively start to give it exactly what it needs. It's like it's emanating. You are emanating what it needs. So if the part was saying that it just needed to feel like it's good enough for your loving presence, has this ability to emanate so powerfully the words and the message, the vibration of you are so perfect. You don't need to be good enough. You are so perfect. Exactly the way you are. Or whatever your loving self is emanating, whatever your emotional part needs. Start to use your breath and embrace the part with it, softening to it. Continue to using the breath, softening to it, allowing that part of you to receive. Now think about something that elates you or excites you, something that inspires you, or maybe it's just that you're going to the movies later with your loved one, or maybe it's just you love dancing to like disco music, or maybe it's something big that elates you, like the thought of something, a possibility, or something you're going to create, or something, whatever in your life that gives you a feeling of elatedness and excitement. Just noticing where you feel that in your body. Noticing this overflowing sense of elation, how elation is kind of the overflowing field of your essence, the true nature of your essence, joy. Just tuning to where you can sense those little sparks of joy in your being. Using your breath to kind of heighten and increase. Letting the sensation spread, expand and widen. Letting this frequency kind of wrap itself, embrace itself around the emotion too. So it's kind of like this ground reminder of joy. Your joy of being here, your joy of feeling it all, your joy of living all the different life experiences because you wanted them, because they were a part of your life journey, your soul mission. So just allowing that overflowing fountain of your essence to kind of flow through your body, wrapping in the emotional experience, breathing with that. Maybe you can increase the intensity in your breath a little bit. Breathing into that frequency of joy. And then slowly as you exhale, just grounding into it. Grounding into the foundation you're seated or lying on. Grounding into the feeling of your body and being, in its aliveness, its beauty, and its joy. In its state of being it all. Taking one final big and slow breath throughout your body. Maybe you want to stretch out, or maybe you want to lie here a little longer. Maybe there's a sigh or a yawn or continuation in your stretch. Slowly waking up. And then one final question I have for you, if you're ready to close this little space of ours now. What is one thing you feel inspired to do after this journey? Something that gives you something. Joy, a sense of love, peace, elation, excitement, happiness, something that just turns you on or ignites you. What is one thing you feel inspired to after this journey now? It can be the tiniest thing, it can be the biggest thing. Let it just come to you, naturally come to you. You know the answer. And as we close this space, you find your own way to do it, preferably right now. Or you find some plan or find some way to do it. That is our little journey for today. It was a pleasure to journey with you, along with you. Remember that feeling is empowerment, and that is also the realization of your true power and who you truly are. So all the love to you, my beautiful being. Enjoy.